Good evening, folks. I have to say in starting that I'm somewhat intimidated after listening to the other talks and all the topics that were covered. I happen to be turning 72 before the end of this calendar year. Some of you who are older may have heard of the Woodstock Generation. Well, I can honestly say I was at Woodstock. I lived in Montreal at the time, and 3 of us drove down to New York State to spend 3 days in an interesting way at Woodstock. This is somewhat relevant right now because, as you know, as of October 17th, cannabis will be legal again, or for the first time. In any event, over the years, I've worked with a lot of startups and a lot of entrepreneurs, and I guess what leads me to where I am today was shortly after I retired, there was a document produced, a 2,200-page report called the Ivany Report. This report analyzed the economy of Nova Scotia and pointed out the facts that some of our normal businesses historically, such as mining and pulp and paper, were dwindling, and that we had to redefine the economy. And it went into a variety of different steps we needed to take, which included things like improving immigration, making people from other countries welcome, convincing people who had used to live in Atlantic Canada that it really was the place to live and bringing them back. And then it went into what I call elders, because I like elder a lot better than seniors or old people, because elders, as was mentioned earlier, were always the wise people that people went to for references and to learn new things. In the Ivany Report, it seemed to categorize seniors into 2 groups. One group were the ones that had money, would sit at home, cut flowers, go on cruises, and have a wonderful time. The other group of seniors were the people who were going to become deathly ill, were going to fill up the hospitals, and as it actually said, we're going to bankrupt the province. Well, this is an interesting view, and it really annoyed me because I was in the age group they were talking about, and I didn't see either of those things. I saw our changing demographics, which many people have mentioned. You know, our life expectancy is increasing. If you're 60 now, the odds are extremely good that you'll live to be 90. Just one little aside, there's a group in Orange County in California called IRIS, which do all things for seniors, from home care to websites, information, etc. And after much thought, they redefined the name, and they're not called seniors anymore, they're called perennials. And I can lead just a bit more on that point. There's a website online that you can go to determine how long you're going to live based on your current age and current health. And I went on when I was 70, and it said I was going to live to be 92, which I thought was kind of neat. I went on as soon as I turned 71, and it said I was going to live to be 94. Now, based on that, I'm going to live forever, which may not be the case. But to all of you out there, young and old, the opportunities that seniors present are humongous, very large. As I preach to younger entrepreneurs all the time, if you can develop a service, a product that's geared to the senior market, the market is growing exponentially, 2 billion by 2050, as an earlier speaker said. This is a huge opportunity. But it also presents a huge opportunity for the seniors my age who aren't in the small group that have some debilitating illness, that aren't in the group that want to travel the world and do nothing, but are all the other seniors who really want to stay involved in society. And there are huge issues that we face. These include, as someone else mentioned, ageism in the workplace. If you work for a large multinational company, and I'll pick on the banks because there's a lot of those in Canada that are very large, they come to you from HR when you're 59 and say, well, you can retire anytime after you're 60, when are you leaving? A lot of people don't want to leave. A lot of people want to continue working. And then there's another huge group that was alluded to earlier on. There's a group of seniors who can't afford to not work, 40% of all seniors in Canada get the guaranteed income supplement, which means that their total income for the year is under $23,000. They don't want to sit at home and not be able to eat, not be able to go anywhere because they can't afford it. They'd like to keep working. So the idea of seniors continuing to work as long as they feel like working is hugely important, and companies and the world have to get used to it. We're saying in Nova Scotia that we aren't getting enough immigrants. We have a shortage of skilled labor. We don't have enough people to fill all the jobs, and it's going to get worse and worse. Well, in fact, if all seniors worked another 5 years, which is quite logical since our life expectancy is now 20 years more than it was, then we don't have that problem. We're not taking jobs from younger people, as they said, and we're contributing to the economy. But the part that I really am stressing in a variety of seminars around the province is seniors as entrepreneurs. Seniors have networks, they have experience, they have contacts, they understand that you have to balance a checkbook, that you need cash flow, that you can't go out and spend money you don't have. And, as an earlier speaker also said, they are twice as likely to succeed as young entrepreneurs. And this is not something new. Harvard Business did a study this summer, a very large report that came out in July, showing that the average age of a successful entrepreneur, irrespective of the 20-year-olds in Silicon Valley, was 45. So that means for every 20-year-old in Silicon Valley, we need somebody 65 to 70 to balance it off and get that average. The problem with ageism is not just in the workplace. If you look for funding for a startup and you're a senior, you get zero. You go to a bank, and I don't know if any of you watch a show called Grace and Ally, but it's my favorite actresses are Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, and they're in this. And they go to a bank looking for a loan, and Jane is supposed to be 79, and the bank manager says, "You're going to be dead before you could ever repay this," and refuses it. And that's the general world of finance. Incidentally, Jane Fonda has a video out called The Third Act, and it's worth everybody watching it because it gives you a perception that, you know, if you go from 0 to 30 as one age, 30 to 60 another, and 60 to 90 is another, which most of us are going to live, then we're just starting the third act. The idea is to get the most out of what you do every day and enjoy your life. Now, I'll just mention 3 startups by old people. One of them, there was this old guy who couldn't see anymore. And he said, "Geez, I really need something to improve my eyesight." And so he developed the bifocals. This was Benjamin Franklin. Another old fellow, and this is my favorite story, Howard Head. His wife, he married a younger wife, and she loved tennis, and he couldn't hit a tennis ball worth a damn. And he said, "I got to do something to keep close to her and allow us to go and travel together and do things together." And so he was an engineer and an inventor, and he developed an oversized tennis racket that was lighter, easier to swing, and that he could actually use. And he founded the Prince Tennis Racket Company. This is the kind of thing that seniors can do. Seniors have great ideas, great initiatives. The third fellow, which fits in quite well with all the talking here, is a local person named Rick Emberley, who 4 years ago founded Boomers Plus, which is a local organization aimed at matching seniors who have all kinds of skills to positions in the economy for part-time work, seasonal work, or replacement work. As an example, your CFO may go on long-term leave for 6 months. You can bring in a senior who was a CFO of a major company. This company is now expanding. They just opened in Ontario. They've got $1 million in equity financing recently, and they're looking to expand elsewhere in the seniors community. Now, in the last 2 minutes, I'll cover my own personal view. I've invested in entrepreneurs and startups and enjoyed some and not done so well in others. But about 6 months ago, I happened to be in Arizona by myself in a retirement community for a variety of reasons. And I went out and bought a Google Home device the first day I was there, and I started using it. And I said, "My God, this is really handy." You know, so every morning I say, "What's my day?" And it says, "Well, hi, John, you're living in Stillwater Lake. It's 70 degrees out, It's a beautiful day. You have a special event at 4 o'clock. The stock market is now at XYZ, and here's your favorite news feed from the CBC. I haven't even got out of bed. So I said, this is an amazing way to get information. And then it dawned on me that seniors who live alone or as couples independently could really make use of something like this. I approached Amazon in Silicon Valley and Google in Silicon Valley and convinced Google to provide me with enough devices to do a pilot in Nova Scotia. So I have 25 seniors in the Halifax area and 8 seniors in Sydney using these devices. And for people who have any kind of disability, truly amazing. They love it, they're using it, they're communicating better, less isolated, and that's just one senior's thought. So if you're out there and you're interested in any kind of project where seniors are required or seniors are going to be involved, come and ask us. Don't develop as many students in the lean startup programs in the universities do. Say, I think seniors need this. Get a senior involved, develop things for them. They'll feel more worthwhile, and your product's likely to be more successful. I want to thank you all for your time, and have a wonderful evening.